As the Middle East conflict deepens into its fourth week, Russia is no longer speaking cautiously. Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov says Moscow is defending the interests of all regional players, including Iran and Gulf states, while slamming what he calls U.S. Israel aggression, according to Xinhua.
When the leading members of the U.S. administration, with bravado, some sort of pride, speak of the cold-blooded killings of the country's supreme leader and other members of the Iranian leadership, of course, this can hardly be called anything other than cynicism. Therefore, we stand for ensuring the interests of both Iran and all countries in the region, including, of course, our close strategic partners from the Gulf Cooperation Council, who indeed, too suffer from what the United States and Israel have unleashed.
Lavrov sharply criticized U.S. President Donald Trump, accusing him of disregarding international law and acting on personal judgment. He doubled down on a familiar charge. Every U.S. intervention in the Middle East, he said, only makes the situation worse. Pushing back on speculation, Lavrov denied that Moscow is sharing intelligence with Tehran. He maintained that Russia's involvement is limited to an existing military technical agreement supplying certain equipment to Iran, nothing beyond that framework. A day earlier, President Vladimir Putin delivered a sobering assessment. Speaking in Moscow, he warned that even those directly involved in the conflict cannot predict its outcome. The consequences, he suggested, could rival the global disruption caused by COVID-19.
The consequences of the conflict in the Middle East are still difficult to predict precisely. It seems to me that those involved in the conflict are unable to predict anything themselves. But for us, it is even more challenging. But, nevertheless, we have to live in the conditions where these events are taking place. However, there are already assessments that they may be compared to the coronavirus epidemic.
The conflict, triggered by U.S. Israel strikes on Iran on February 28th, has already killed over 1,500 in Iran, with casualties also reported by the U.S. and Israel. As retaliation intensifies, Moscow's message is clear. This war is expanding, and its fallout may be impossible to contain.